can we start to realize the intricate relationship that is constantly flowing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between physical, biological health at a cellular level and mental, spiritual health. Taking stress as an example, any form of stress that might be experienced. It could be a tiny little bit of energy and contraction by the body that comes up in response to something someone said, or a car pulling out in front of you on the road, or a little bit of anxiousness or overwhelm from the workload, or something that the boss may have said. Whatever it is, that stress, whilst we might say that falls under mental health, the body is immediately responding to that. There is a physical contraction that occurs. The entire body goes into a state of contraction. And it might be more pronounced in some parts of the body than others. But to start to notice this, that, hey, just something that's just a thought. What is a thought? Can you show someone a thought? No. This thing that appears and arises in particular moments that we call a thought is causing this physical, very real in this physical reality, this physical body to contract. Why does it do that? The vibrational frequency of a thought, even one that we may not consider calling stress or labeling with stress. You might be planning the next day. You might be thinking about the next day and that project you're wanting to do, right? Even this, as a vibrational frequency that is thought, lets the body know, hey, we're needing to be a little alert if we're doing this thing called thinking. Yeah? And so it looks to support that. And it releases cortisol through the body. It releases cortisol so that that level of alertness can be maintained by the mind to continue thinking. Is there anything wrong with a little bit of cortisol being released in the body so that we can plan, so that we can do what we need to do? No, not at all. Question is though, how often is the activity up here happening? How frequently is it happening? And how large are the gaps where it's not happening? How large are the gaps between thought? And so are we stepping out of this thinking, incessant thinking of the mind frequently enough to give the body a rest? If you are constantly shooting cortisol throughout the body because the body feels that it needs to be on, because that's what's happening, the busyness of the mind is happening, telling the body, hey, we need to be on. There is a tension, constant, even residual, and maybe unnoticeable tension by you because it's become such a norm within our society, particularly within Western culture. So we cannot separate the two. Then somewhere down the line, as a 20-something-year-old or a 30-something-year-old, when we were that age, we may have been thinking, whatever, I'll be fine. And then 20 years of that, 30 years of that, cancer pops up, autoimmune pops up, stroke pops up, heart attack pops up. Ooh, that seems to have been popped up out of nowhere. Really? Nothing pops up out of nowhere for no reason. The body responds to whatever is happening. And if there's a wearing away due to constant, incessant release of cortisol, due to constant, incessant thoughts, something will have to give somewhere. And then all of a sudden, can we see the direct connection between mental, psycho-spiritual health and physical health, and how this feeds into overall well-being? Can we start having the conversations around overall well-being and not ignore any of the elements? It almost seems as though at the very center of all of our health is that mental, psycho-spiritual health. However, without the physical health, staying fit, staying healthy, eating well, food that's generative for the body, this vessel's not going to last long, is it? If this isn't allowed the opportunity to quieten down and not be on constantly, then the physical body won't last, even if you are fit, healthy, eating well. And then we bring social relationships, a relationship with others. And again, the quality of these relationships is so heavily determined by the quality of our relationship with here, with self, with whatever we are identifying ourselves as. Are we identifying ourselves as an idea of ourselves, or an idea that someone else has of us? Is that what we're identifying ourselves as? That we're applying all of this effort in life to maintain, hold up, and sustain that idea, an idea? That's a lot of work, a lot of thinking, and therefore a lot of stress that incessantly gets placed upon the body and mind. Take a moment, often throughout the day, to close the eyes and not try to move the thoughts, but to notice that there are thoughts and gently let them flow, and be here, sitting, eyes closed, smelling, hearing. Be here.